All right, we're going to start with the gentleman who became the first Rockies catcher in team history to win the Silver Slugger Award. And when you have guys like JT Realmuto and those guys in Los Angeles and a few other places, when you're the Silver Slugger at the catching spot, that's pretty darn good. So, Hunter, we're going to start with a question from a fan who wanted to know what. Come on, Tyler. You know, yeah, Tyler Freeman at the end, ladies and gentlemen. Fans want to know. Give us some sense of the All-Star experience for you, and what was the best part of it. What thrilled you the most?
Yeah. So. Getting to go was awesome. I mean, it's a blessing to be around those guys, and I think the coolest part is just I was, as a younger player, being around guys like Kershaw and Machado and Freeman and all those guys that are older. That when I was in high school, I watched them play, and they were all stars. So just picking their brain and talking to them, and just trying to take in everything and learn kind of stuff from them.
And as a follow-up to that, Hunter, I mean, you came into spring training knowing that you were just going to be a catcher, and then as the year progressed, your development, certainly the offense was your best yet in the bigs, but I know you took a lot of pride, a lot of satisfaction in your development, not only in framing pitches and catching the difficult plays at the plate, but more about your work with the pitchers themselves.
Yeah, it was awesome getting to know the staff and learn the pitchers and trying to create a relationship with them over the year. And honestly, just had a lot of fun getting back behind the plate. I felt like that's like my natural position, and I got to focus on that the whole year, which was a lot of fun.
Mickey Moniak was a late spring training addition to the staff right before the season started, and people weren't really sure what the Rockies were getting with Mickey. They had some background being a high draft pick and all of that with the Phillies and then on to the Angels. But Mickey, you ended up having your best year so far in the big leagues. Give the fans a little bit of a sense of how the season unfolded for you and why it was so successful.
Yeah, you know, I think that first week of getting here was kind of a whirlwind. Was in spring training with the Angels and ended abruptly, and got to sign here with the Rockies pretty quickly. And I think just for me this past season, just able to get comfortable, with this team, the coaching staff, the city, you guys as fans. I think that ever since we stepped foot here in Denver, me and my wife, our dog, we felt welcomed and at home, and I think that's a huge part of being able to go play free and just kind of let the talent take over and kind of do what I've done my whole life and just go play baseball. So I think it was a culmination of a lot of things, but I think the number one thing is just kind of feeling at home here in Denver.
And Vicky, I think you're a great example of sometimes in this game the talent is there because you wouldn't have been drafted and signed in the first place. It's about opportunity, isn't it?
100%. I think that I think in life nothing's given to you, everything's earned, and you kind of have to create your own opportunity at times. And I think that that's all we can ask for as baseball players, to have the opportunity to go out and play at 640 and go in between those lines and just kind of do what we love to do. It's our jobs to, when that opportunity comes, you got to take advantage of it. Like I said, I felt like, I was able to do that last year, but, that, doesn't happen without, the support and inside the clubhouse and outside. So, opportunities, I think the biggest thing.
And that segues, that's real good, that's what we call it, broadcasting, segueing. So this a good movement right to another player who got the chance to play on a regular basis, maybe truly for the first time in his young big league career, was Tyler Freeman, who was acquired what was it, last week of spring training, I think, trade with the Guardians. And yeah, and for you, Tyler, I'm glad I said Guardians, not Indians, so that worked for me. But tell us a little bit about the process of suddenly being with a new organization, but getting an opportunity.
Yeah, obviously it was the first time I was traded in my career. I remember sitting in my locker in Goodyear with Cleveland, just playing a game on my phone and get a tap on the shoulder, going to the coach's office and like, yeah, you're getting traded. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Where to? They couldn't tell me. But a few hours later, I was going to Colorado, and that was the best thing to happen for me and my family. Kind of like you said, always grateful for this team for giving me a chance to play. And I didn't feel like I didn't get that opportunity in Cleveland. And so trying to expand as much positions as possible. I'm coming for Goodman's spot next year. I'm trying to catch, so I'm just kidding.
But again, these guys are segueing so great today. It's wonderful. You do play multiple positions. So one of our fans asked in that regard, knowing might be the infield, might be the outfield, might be a DH day, how do you prep that particular day, or does the prep stay pretty much the same throughout the season?
No, the prep is kind of like before the games, whether we're going defensive-wise, taking fly balls or taking ground balls. I'll mix it up as much as possible. Like last year, I never played right field my entire life, so I was trying to grind in the outfield, doing outfield drills. The year before in Cleveland, never played center field in my life, so trying to learn that. But I'm always open ears for anything. But yeah, just trying to train as much as possible at it, and hopefully in the end it comes easier, but nothing's easy in baseball.
And lastly, in that line of questioning, is there a particular spot? I mean, if Shave said to you, okay, Free, you're going to play here for as long as you want to play, what would it be?
Anywhere. Until I that's my role. Like before in Cleveland, I didn't know where I would play in Cleveland. And here it's an opportunity, and thanks to Shane, thanks to the front office, everyone, and I'll play wherever they want me to.
A good answer for the future Hall of Famer Todd Helton always tells youngsters, if they come up and Todd asks them what position they play, and they'll say pitcher, shortstop, catcher, outfield, whatever. Todd says no. Tell them you're a hitter. So that's the great way to go, to say, hey, I'm a hitter. And speaking of hitters, I was on a national radio broadcast this week, and somebody asked me, well, who's the breakout guy for the Rockies in 2026? And breakout's kind of tough because this will be his third year on the big league roster. First year got waylaid a lot by a fractured wrist, but I immediately said outfielder Jordan Beck. Not only because I think he's really going to blossom as a hitter, but I was so impressed with his defensive development as the year went on. I know, Jordan, you put a lot of time into that. It's not center field, but left field here is the biggest left field in baseball, so it's got to be a challenge.
No, it's definitely a challenge. I mean, I think here especially you kind of need three guys that can really run and go get balls and at least cover a lot of ground. Luckily, T-Free and Nick knows we get to play with Doyle, so he covers a lot of ground out there. So he makes our job a little bit easier, but we also gotta help him out when we can. But definitely a huge outfield, a lot of ground to cover.
So tell the audience a little bit, Jordan, what was different for you as your first full season, if you will, because you missed 2+ months in your rookie year. As the year unfolded, how did the process work for you in terms of comfort and where you're trying to be as a player?
I think at the same time, like similar to what Mick says, like you get in there, like you start seeing guys multiple times, you start playing against guys multiple times, like you start knowing, all right, this is what it looks like. Like you can train as much as you want, but at the end of the day, until you get into the box and see what it's going to look like, you really don't know. So you can, I guess you can get it up in your head where you think like, oh, it's going to be way better than you think it is, and then you get in the box and you're like, oh, maybe it wasn't. Or it could be vice versa, it could be the opposite. So I do believe that just getting out there and playing and getting consistent at bats is a huge deal. And I mean, even in Goody's sake too, like you see when consistent bat shows up and you see what he can do. So
we have a new member of the roster and a guy I'm very excited to watch because he really fits the profile of guys like the other two outfielders up there, Tyler Freeman, well, all three outfielders, Mickey and Jordan as well. If you get a chance, go on YouTube and Google in, that's kind of, can you do both? Well, Google in Jake McCarthy's high school football highlights. You can find it. He was every bit as good as Saquon Barkley in their senior years in Pennsylvania. Quite a football player. We're blessed that he decided to play baseball, and a recent acquisition from the Diamondbacks who fits that profile of athleticism and speed and all that. And Jake, I would think for you, this is that chance, like the other guys were saying, to get more regular opportunity.
For sure. Thank you for letting everyone know that I peaked in high school. No, I'm super excited to be here. Obviously, being at D-back, I was in the division and had a front row seat to the direction of where this organization is headed. And I love this park. I love the athleticism of this team, just the competitiveness. So I'm super excited to be here. Sort of just to help team win ball games, whether that's offensively, defensively, on the base path, getting on these guys. It's been a really fun couple weeks so far.
Let me then follow up with you. Watching the Rockies last year from the other side and seeing these young guys sitting up there with you, what was your impression?
Yeah, just a very competitive club. I think I was part of a team when I got called up a few years ago where, maybe we had a lot of young position players, but you could tell everyone was growing and maturing, and it's super fun to kind of grow into a role with a bunch of guys who are ascending, and obviously you want that for yourself individually, but as a team, when you guys see yourself, there's a clear-cut goal of where we want to be. I just think I'm really excited to be a part of it and playing against these guys, whether it was throughout the years in Albuquerque or in the big leagues. Obviously, there's a lot of things going in the right direction.
Hunter, let me ask you this question again from one of our fans here in the audience. How does the training change, or how does the in-season work change home games, away games? We've talked about that throughout the history of this franchise. Anything in particular you do differently when the team's on the road?
Yeah, there's some different things I do in the cage as far as pitch shapes, and we have different foam balls and different types of baseballs that we'll use to make those shapes bigger or smaller when we're at home on the road. But I think there's more stuff we can do, and I think the changes that we're making and listening to some of the new guys in the front office, I think we got some things that we can do in the future to help us with that for sure.
Tyler, let me ask you, coming from the Cleveland organization that had success, and the Rockies have changed a number of things this offseason, not only the front office with the people who are in place now and go out and seek people like you, but with a lot of new coaches as well, and Schaaf now and no longer the interim guy, but the manager. What's your sense of the interaction that's going to take place between the players and this coaching staff and front office?
Yeah, today was really like the first time I was able to meet some of the new coaches, and I'm excited for the direction we're headed in. I think we hired a great group of guys. definitely a group of guys that's going to take us to the next level. And us talking about it, we're all so excited for this next year. And it's definitely going to be a different Rockies baseball. And bring back Shea. He's the guy we're behind. And we're excited to play for him. And we're going to see lots more wins this year.
This will be a two-parter, Mickey, or a two-person answer, Mickey and Jordan. You guys now starting to fall into the young veteran category. Any difference going into this spring training as to how you've prepped leading up to it, and then what you plan on doing at Salt River?
I mean, for me personally, I feel like I've gotten into a good routine in the offseason. You're trying to get stronger, you're trying to get faster. For most of all, you want to go to spring training healthy in a good spot. Like Freeman said, we got a good opportunity this year to do some things and to push this in the right direction. And, we've been talking about it since the season ended last year. And, we text all the time, talking about what we want to do, what we want to, kind of create an identity of being. I think that, we're fired up. We got Shea at the helm. We couldn't have picked a better guy to lead us. And, I think the focus is, obviously, personally getting ready to go so that I can do everything I can to help the team win. From the looks of things, that's what everyone else is doing. So it's an exciting time for sure. Jordan?
Almost the exact same answer on the second half, but off-season stuff, it's a good time to kind of learn and grow and kind of challenge yourself too. You don't have consistent events every day, so you can kind of get out there and you can really push the envelope, whether it's big shakes or really hard pitching. Like you can do a couple different things, but at least my last year was not really trying to recreate anything or make something new happen. It was just kind of really focus on what I was good at last year, just kind of continue to dominate that. So for off-season, that was really good.
Jake, for you, because you're the newest guy out of this group, so yes, there are new coaches that all five of you are going to adjust and adapt with. But have you thought about going from an organization like Tyler did with Cleveland throughout your career, all of a sudden new teammates, but also new coaches, new support people, new training staff, all those things? That'll be an interesting situation, I would think, for you.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into it. I got drafted in 2018, so that's 8 years now of being with the same organization. When I was going into Salt River in Scottsdale, spring training spot.
You got to turn right, not
so
left.
that was pretty funny. Then one day after I got traded, I drove by all my old friends, waved in the parking lot, and I drove to my new parking lot. So I'm excited to be here, kind of explore this city, and obviously get to know a lot of new people. Still I feel like I know a lot of these guys because I played against them for so long, but I'm just really looking forward to getting to know them on a personal level.
This obviously has got to be from one of our younger fans, which is good. We'll start with Mickey. We'll go down the row. How did you pick your walk-up song?
It was an Instagram video, actually. Well, first off, love the song. But it was an Instagram video of a
For
kid.
those who don't know, what song is it?
It's Electric Avenue. It's gonna stay Electric Avenue. But we saw a video on Instagram with some kids sliding down the slide, hitting a couple moves to it, wearing some cool glasses, and me and my wife loved that video. And she actually was the one who was like, hey, I think that'd be a good walk-up song. And as always, my wife's always right. So,
Jake.
Yeah, last few years, I've walked up to Kurt Angle's WWE theme song that he comes out to. But we're in a new place right now, so maybe we'll try something new. We'll see. But it was kind of funny. The fans would chant "You suck" to it. That was the thing we did in WWE. So we'll see. I'm still thinking about it.
Hunter.
I was to the camp by Cody Johnson, and when I got into pro ball my first year, big Cody Johnson fan, love the song. My wife helped me pick out the song as well. and then I played well with it and continued to play well with it, so I've had it since then.
Of course, as you can see here, there is nothing superstitious about baseball players. Just if something works, they'll keep doing it. Jordan.
That's a pretty true statement there. I had at first, I say the second half, I had the Pink Pony Club. My wife did pick that out. They had the opportunity to pick our walk-up songs for a little while, and then I kind of kept it going because, like you said, I got a couple hits today that it rolled out there. So we rolled with it and then stuck with it for a while. But the other one, YouTube searches, deep dives, trying to figure out what sounds good in my head. So.
Tyler.
Also, my wife. My wife picked out my walk-up song. Also, she's a big Cody Johnson fan as well. So she chose it for me. It's With You I Am. And then this next year, we have a little baby coming on the way, so it's a little something tied to that for this upcoming year, but can't give it away.
Hang on to the mic still, and now we'll go back this way again. Who, if outside of yours, out of all of your teammates, who do you think has the best walk-up song?
Man. I'm probably going to go with Mix. Mix is really cool. We all talk about it all the time, so I'm going to
Jordan.
I can't say. I've heard Hunter's way too much. I like the Kurt Angle one. That's good. No, I don't hear it.
Hunter?
I mean, personally, when I got called up, just hearing Chuck's and then hearing the fans of Chuck's, that's probably one of the coolest experiences.
And of course, it has to be retired because
100%, nobody else can have that.
Jake?
Was it Beck that said shovel around? Pink Pony Club? I'll go with that.
And Mickey?
Probably BB's Bringing Sexy Back by Justin Timberlake. I'm assuming his wife picked that one out too. So I'm going to stick with that theme.
Well, guys, I know you've got a bunch of things going, but we appreciate you taking the time here to interact with the fans. And you can see, I mean, it was a tough year for all of us, players, broadcasters, fans. And look at this response. They love you guys. They love Rockies baseball. And we're all excited about what's going to happen in 2026. So, Mickey Moniak, Jake McCarthy, Hunter Goodman, Jordan Beck, Tyler Freeman. Thank you very much, man.